Everybody, how are you today? Welcome to the first of this week's Leader to Leader, brought to you by LEAD Brevard, Brevard County's Leadership Development and Community Leader Deployment Organization. I'm your host, Geo Ropert from Ropert and Partners Public Relations. I'm so glad you're here today, and I'm so glad that my guest is joining me today too. This is I will call this Leader to Leader redo part 2, because I've also had to do a redo with one of our other guests early on in this show as we were getting things going. Just had some really crazy technical challenges with Facebook Live, working with Zoom. You know how that goes. And anybody who's tried to do some of these things, you know, maybe your bandwidth isn't working right or something just doesn't make the connection. So, but we've gotten it figured out, and so been pretty successful for the last few weeks. I'm just having a blast doing this, and so I'm ready to go for this show too, and this week too. This whole week we've got some great folks coming up. Leader to Leader actually is brought to you, as I said, by LEAD Brevard. It happens every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 12:15 p.m. on the LEAD Brevard Facebook page. And what we do is each day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we've got folks lined up for this show for the next 2 months. Once they've seen it, I don't know, it's not me, the popular guy. It's all the guests that I have, these great guests that I have, come on and are sharing their leadership insights, the leadership traits, stories about the things that they've, some of their biggest challenges, some of their business successes, also working in how they're adapting to this new way of doing business. And believe me, the last 3 weeks, who'd have ever thought about how we would be doing business in this day and age and all the things that have come our way. So what it does is it gives our local leaders, these are Leadership Brevard graduates, an opportunity to share their perspectives. And each one is unique. And yet we find a lot of common themes. And that's what I've been seeing as I've been doing this show now for over a month, is that everybody's really got some great stories, and these are truly leaders in our community. But there are some common things. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go on. But first, I would like to take no more time. I want to get right to our guest, Chris Kern. She is with me today. I'm so happy to have her. As I said, Chris was one of our first guests that came and joined us, and we did have some, man, I just could not believe it. Not only did I not get it to work on Facebook, but I forgot to hit record on Zoom. So we didn't even have a record of the broadcast, and so I had to go with the tail between my legs and beg Chris to do it again. But she was very gracious, and so Chris, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Gio. It's great to be back. The first take I was working from home, and now I'm back in my office. So
yeah, I see that. So much has changed. That's great.
Face masks and all, right? So
exactly, yeah. Well, in fact, we'll talk a little bit about that as we go on, because I want to hear, how that is happening. Chris, you are a 2017, a recent LEAD Brevard graduate of the best class.
Of course.
Go ahead. Okay, there you go.
Best class ever, right?
Pardon me?
Best class ever.
Ever after the 2001 class.
Okay.
Which I was a member. And so anyhow, but she's the director of operations and sustained giving at the Health First Foundation. And she just recently, last week, in fact, gave her introductory chairman speech. She is now the chair of LEAD Brevard. And so quite a job you've taken on.
It is. I'm just really honored to be part of the organization, to have gone through the program Leadership Brevard, but then to have been invited onto the board and to be asked by the peers of that group to lead. So it's an honor, and we've got a lot of work to do. So
it's never ending. We went from a simple Leadership Brevard program to how many different things do we offer now as an organization that all have to be managed, all have to be successful, all have to be planned out. So a lot of folks, many hands making light work, but you're in the lead, and so I'm very happy to see that. I'm getting to know you. I can't think of a better person to be taking us into 2020 and beyond. So
thank you very much.
Share a little bit, if you will, of your background, Chris, and kind of what you do now, and how you were brought into Leadership Brevard, and let's tell the story.
Let's tell the story. So I moved here in 2015. So I still feel new to Brevard in some ways, because I'm constantly learning something more about this amazing community. Moved here from Missouri, where I was very active in my community, and then also held a position with a national organization. So I spent a lot of time living out of a suitcase, traveling, around the country, and working from home. So of course, when we all went to work remotely during the pandemic, that wasn't anything new to me. But yeah, so I came to Health First in 2015. I'm the Director of Operations and Sustained Giving, and my work is to engage the community in support for Health First as a not-for-profit healthcare system here for, to promote and encourage the wellness and health of our community. So I feel like the work of LEAD Brevard and the connections and the people that I've met, the leaders I've been able to connect with along the way are just part of that journey to both professionally and personal leadership have fit hand in hand.
That's great. And let's talk a little bit about that, because with you coming here in 2015, yeah, this was kind of like the Leadership Brevard, I'm sure, was an eye opener for you. Share with me and with our audience a little bit about, your experience in Leadership Brevard, what it opened your eyes to, how did it help develop your leadership skills and those kind of things?
Yeah, so two things. One, when you come from a place and you are engaged, you have to take a step back and really listen and learn, because you're not going to have the same seat at the table. You're not going to have that same, you're going to have a whole new perspective. And coming here, Leadership Brevard allowed me to learn how, everything from how the community was organized to what its challenges were, to also all the people who were working together to make Brevard great. And it's an incredible community. My family moved here. My parents moved here after I moved here. My son actually left Missouri from college and said, I'm going to live in Brevard. So, it's just a great place to live and learn. And Leadership Brevard was that experience that enabled me to see who we are as a community and to find ways to be a part of that. Coming onto the board of LEAD Brevard allowed me to continue that exploration. And so I feel privileged to have been part of it.
That's great. So you moved your whole family here. You kind of upped our population by a percentage point, I think, with everybody you brought.
Well, yeah, they all followed. They were like, this sounds like a great place. And they come to visit for a week and they go, maybe we should look for a place. Okay.
Yeah, it happens all the time. People come here and we go, geez, what is it about us that people want to come and live here, and all of a sudden you look around, and after you've done something like Leadership Brevard, then you really go, I get it. I know why.
Yes,
because
indeed.
It is. I've left before and said I would never come back.
Oh.
And when I came back, I said, I will never leave this place. That's a lot of stories that I hear from folks. And so, well, we hope you're going to stick around for a while.
Oh, I plan to, yes.
Yeah, you've become a tremendous community asset, if you will. And we really appreciate you. Tell me a little bit, Chris, what is your leadership style? What are the traits of your leadership that helps you, kind of lead in your position and in the community?
Mm-hmm. I think that leaders, and my personal style is to be engaging. I think there's nothing more important than the conversation. Stephen Covey used to say, seek first to, he did in his 7 habits, seek first to understand. And I think that that's really important, probably more now than ever. There's so much that has been changing just since our last interview. Take one. But I think that a leader needs to be engaging. They need to be decisive, and they need to be compassionate. I believe strongly in bringing people with me, or engaging people to go together because we are stronger together.
Let me ask you, and you bring up a good point. There's a lot of just things going on, change. I'm going to call it tremendous change. A lot of people say a lot of crazy things happening. I don't think it's crazy. I think there's a lot of change that maybe we didn't know we needed to have all come at us at once. Because, one thing, with COVID took us into a direction we've never, ever seen before. And then what is happening now with the cultural change that we're looking at, how are you adapting your leadership style and what you're doing at the Health First Foundation with these things that have been thrust upon us.
Mhm. Well, I think the same applies to both scenarios, but I think you have to just approach every single situation and meet it where it is. You know, where are you now? Because that's where we need to start. So, you know, going back to those traits of a leader, you know, being someone who's willing to listen, being compassionate. And I think that that works both in our work. We have people that come to Health First for care, you know, and they are in need. You know, they come to us when they're sick, or they come to us when they want to explore wellness, which where we, you know, we want you to be well. We need to meet you where you are and help you on that journey. I think too that, you know, with things going on in our community, as leaders in the community, we all have a responsibility to listen, to be aware, and to change and to really be catalysts for change when it's needed.
You know, that's profound in the sense that it truly is. I think those of us who are in leadership positions really are, and I think I'm seeing it, are taking a real good look
Mhm.
at where they are, not only as people, but where their organizations are. You know, what are they attending to? What are they realizing? What what internal cultures are they professing, and what internal cultures are they actually doing, and that what are they actually putting out there
Yeah.
that is real and truthful, and so we are looking at a way, and I think you're right about the communication, you know, and we really, I think we've got a good community, and I hope you'll agree, as far as those that do want to talk to each other and want to move forward together.
Yes.
You know, that's one thing I've seen about Brevard.
Mhm. They do. And I think we've got really incredible people that are willing to come to the table, lots of voices to understand, to learn, to grow, and to create change where it's needed.
What do you see LEAD Brevard's going to, you know, I think really be taking some introspection and looking forward? What do you see the organization, you know, kind of molding to or molding into as you move forward with present day and what you all see as the future?
So this is a conversation that we've been having for some time, and LEAD Brevard as an organization has been having for some time to recognize the need for strong leadership in this. And, you know, our mission is to develop and inspire leaders. So where we can develop leaders throughout all of our programs, but also as alumni of our programs to be active in these efforts, we want to do that. And we've recently, you know, been doing some work on that, and more is to come. I've been working very closely with Kristen Bakke, and I know that our work, without, you know, we're working on making some announcements, I guess, just to state our position and you know, our hopeful role in developing inspiring leaders to be part of the change that's needed as we move forward. So we have recently started an equity, inclusion, and diversity committee, but these are conversations that have been in progress for some time.
Yes.
And it's all very much about what we do as an organization to develop and inspire those leaders.
That's great. And I know that, you know, the several events that are already happening where we bring the community together, we talk about what's happening. I think we're very upfront and honest about what our challenges are and what our opportunities are as well.
Right.
And I've always looked to LEAD Brevard to be that organization that says, okay, you know, we see a need. How can we fill it? Not necessarily as LEAD Brevard, but the facilitator of leadership gatherings. How do we bring the people? I remember when we did Brevard Tomorrow back in 2005, 2007, and we brought the community together to really address some very important needs that we had. And unfortunately, you weren't around back then, but this had to do with everything from our development, affordable housing, transportation, lifestyle, all those things that we saw coming at us, and very quickly, that if we did not make change and adapt our entire community to take that change in and do it well, that we were in for some major problems. Unfortunately, the recession hit and everything about housing
A lot changed.
dropped right off the face. We didn't have to worry about it, but hey, we're back at it again. Guess what? It's come back, and now you get to take care of helping
No,
out
we
there.
do. We do. That's the
We do.
important
I
part.
know.
And you know, you talked about Brevard Tomorrow, Better Tomorrow. I had heard about that, and it was also part of the things that we've done in the past, the conversation and community. A lot of those things about, you know, housing. We talked about, you know, the homelessness. That was part of my Leadership Brevard project, was the Leadership Action Project, was to identify the true cost of homelessness.
Right.
And now that was like $22 million a year it costs to serve people who are homeless in Brevard County. And then that project grew to another one the next year and another one the following year. It means that we're doing the right things. We are inspiring leaders, and we kept growing that project.
You're so right, because in fact, I'm a member of the Innovative Housing Committee. That was that offshoot of LEAD Brevard, of your project, your team projects. And now what we are working on is both the affordable housing for those ALIS, you know, folks that population, and really, you know, our first responders, our healthcare workers, and then also our lower income folks that need, you know, affordable housing as well. So we have a big challenge in our community, because again, we're seeing that big spike in pricing, both for home ownership and rentals, which is almost becoming unaffordable for a lot of people in our community. So yeah,
it is. And thank you for that work. I'm really glad to know that you're on that, because I have just been watching as that work continues, and I'm very proud of that it's continuing.
Yeah, and I'm honored, and again, it's because LEAD Brevard took the first step, and our classes, those leaders who were part of that, saw that need, and it wasn't just hey, let's talk about it and that's our class project. It's, you know, we've got something that's not going to go away, and so continually the classes take that on, and I'm hoping the next class, in fact, will also, you know, have some hand in what we're doing here and continue to help out, because it's a heavy lift. Tell you what, Chris. But hey, you know what?
It's what leadership is all about, the heavy lift.
Leadership in action. We are taking it and talking it and actually doing it. So, you know, it's been great having you share your insights here, being the incoming chair. You've got a big job, but I know you are going to just nail it. You've got a great team right behind you. And
oh my gosh, yes.
So many good people. And I wish you nothing but the best, because we've got some challenges, but I think we're gonna come out of this okay, better than we were, is my feeling. So
and I just want to, you know, make sure everyone knows that it is a we that is doing this. That if you're watching and you want to be involved, you know, reach out to LEAD Brevard. If you want to participate in the programs, you know, it's life-changing.
Yeah, it truly is. Well, Chris, again, thank you. I'm honored that you came back after the first debacle, and so grateful that you did, so we could have this chance to talk and really get to know you. You are one of our community gems. Thank you for everything that you do, and I truly appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Chris Kern from the Health First Foundation. And she joins us like our guests do each Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 12:15 live right here on the LEAD Brevard Facebook page. And we're going to continue to do this. We've got a couple of great guests coming up for you here. And I just, hang on. No, I will not let this happen. I did this before. I was like, hey, we got a great guest coming up. Yay. And then we forget totally about it. Steve Leatherman is with us tomorrow. I'm sorry. So he's going to be joining us. He's got some very cool insights. And then Ann Conroy Bater from the Junior Achievement of Brevard. Yes. You know, I know these people.
We know you do.
Why does it brains just go off. I don't know what's happening. But anyhow, so they're great folks. We do it every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we have a great time. Again, I'm Geo Ropert from Ropert and Partners Public Relations and Marketing Communications. If you are interested, because we're making this offer and you'd like to become a sponsor of Leader to Leader, this is a great opportunity for your business or organization to get some additional marketing exposure. We get upwards of 300-400 folks that view each of our episodes. And so it's a great way that for you to get your name out there and show your support for this great program that I think has really started a good community conversation. You can get more information by visiting leadbrevard.org or calling 321-632-8222. If you are a business or organization that needs some help communicating in this very different time, I suggest you give us a call at Ropert and Partners. I've got a tremendous team of folks, communicators that know how to do this and will work with you and your team to make sure that you are walking the walk, talking the talk, and that you're putting out the brand messages that connect with your audiences. You can find out more about us at ropertandpartners.com. Again, Chris, great having you with us today. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. This is Leader to Leader, presented by LEAD Brevard.